Hey Techustlers, let's focus on distribute spacing. So for example, in our application, if we have some particular objects that are a bit uneven or they are not aligned correctly, we can easily do so with some of the sketch options we have to us. So for example, if I decide to move Twitter here, then create a copy, and if you want to create a copy, again, it's holding down the Alt tab, click, drag, and then move to a location, and then you let go, it creates a copy. So as you can see right now, this doesn't look very pretty. It doesn't look aligned. Something seems wrong about it. So what I can do is highlight these buttons and then I right click and it'll tell me to distribute horizontally or vertically. If I do so vertically, right here, so it is essentially already pretty much organized vertically because you can see the spacing is pretty good. If I decide to move it down, and let's do it once more, distribute vertically, there you go. So the spacing will, make sure it has equal spacing vertically. Now let's do horizontally. Okay, so horizontally is good to go as well. And now what we can do is align them so that they are all straight and in line. So what we can do is align horizontally. And there we go. So they align horizontally. And I don't think we need anything else, but spacing is also looking good as well. So there's that. If you have more elements or objects in your sketch document and you want to, let's say, create a grid or something like that. So for example, let's move in a little closer. So we'll call that number 1. We'll say 2, 3, right? And I think for the sake of it, we'll do that. Do our quick align horizontally. And right now, if we would like to, let's say, create more of a grid-like design, we can go to our make grid. And what this will do is create more rows for us to play with. So for example, it's going to create 2 more rows with a 30% or 30 pixel margin, and then 2 columns with 0 pixel margin. Okay, so this is essentially what it created for us. Pretty much exactly what we wanted, but still doesn't look that pretty. So what we would do is Control Undo. Let's just focus on 2 layers. And let's do 2 rows, or let's say 1 column, and we'll say 4 rows, okay? And 30% point margin, okay, so range. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So it creates those 4 blocks, and let's see if it actually created that 30-point margin. So in order to see specific measurements, what I would do between each object is I would click this, hold down the Alt tab, and now you start to see the different measurements. For example, between this point and the edge of our artboard is 72 pixels. If I want to see the difference between this object and this object, I just take my mouse and go to that particular object and see how far it really is, which is 30. Likewise, I can do the same thing here. Click Alt and then go to our object here, and it's 30 pixels. So I know this make grid did a good job in making sure that they were 30 pixel margins. So now let me revert back. And essentially, that is our distribute spacing. So again, very useful if you are going to be creating very similar UIs. In our case, the buttons here, you probably want equal spacing throughout. Even if you are creating, let's say, these type of grid-like popular city cards, you'd also want it to be equal and spaced out. So that way, the design is uniform and it makes sense. So see you in the next video.